look at it, Lucky and Martin Garcia romping the Haskell.
Glad I had Martin Garcia.
Who wrote Yankee Doodle Dandy? Yeah, I didn't either. I had to look it up. Richard Shuckburg.
I should have known that.
No better place than Saratoga to race horses.
It is a little warm in the Jim Dandy.
I'm always looking forward to the winners, but not always looking forward to another birthday.
And it's a photo that will go to Proviso.
And Midday overcomes a loss of concentration to win back-to-back Nassau's.
Then what was your wish in 2009 to be able to do?
To go to the Kentucky Derby.
And how was it?
Awesome.
Lafitte Pinkai here to take you through the week on HRTV. A giant moon went postward in Monday's Evan Shipman. His trainer was on the phone prior to the race.
Well, he's only run 14 times, and we know a big reason of it is the injuries and the things that he's encountered. Following the Preakness, battled some laminitis. Following the Kingston, battled a bad back because of the soft turf course. How is he doing right now? Is he as healthy as he's ever been?
It's probably the best I've ever seen him travel over the ground, no doubt about it, yeah. He came to us in good order this year. We had over the course of the last few years, we had several different blacksmiths look at him and work on him, and every one of them have contributed. And we finally got to the point where this year, where he came in, he was just wearing regular flat shoes in front, nothing unusual. So we shoe him about every 18 to 20 days. He seemed to handle the surface well. I don't think he's going to have to carry his track. I think he's the kind of horse that if he's doing well, I think he'll run his best race.
On the outside, Giant Moan, grown for victory, Giant Moan, Ichabod Crane, grown for victory, and Giant Moan, a wild finish that goes to Giant Moan.
Every trainer wants to win a race at Saratoga, but for some, just being at the spa is enough.
We have 24. It's kind of a mixed group. We have horses that are running for a tag and that, he even claimed this winter in Florida. We have some babies, a couple nice New York bred babies. And then we have a horse, Piscatelli, that ran in the Breeders' Cup last year. He's coming back off a layoff, and I don't know if he'll make Saratoga yet, but he's doing really well.
And what does it mean for you going from a public training job to a private training job?
The main thing I liked was Mr. Skatine said, I don't want you to worry about anything except training the horses. So that's a big relief.
And you had your first horse that you saddled for him was a winner. Tell me about that experience.
Well, that was a good one. I mean, it's always good to get started right off with the win, and hopefully that's just a good omen for things to come, and we're hopefully heading in the right direction.
We had been going to Del Mar every year for 10 years and thought we needed a little bit of a change, and no better place than Saratoga to race horses. The whole town is given over to horse racing and everything that has to do with horse racing. It's been a little bit warm from what I've been told for this part of the country, but for me coming from Kentucky, it doesn't seem so bad. And I've continued my own training. I'm a runner, so I found some good running paths, and both me and the horses are training well.
As always, Saratoga's week was full of sensational stakes racing.
Concord Kid's trying to come on through in between horses. Then over at the rail, no explaining who's trying to come off the inside now. Then Crescendo Neon Light down to the finish now. Perfect Cheryl coming down to the line. And it is Perfect Cheryl the winner, Exclusive Love second. Malibu Prayer doing the better of the two as they come to the last furlong here. Malibu Prayer has turned back on Rival Bell. The lead is 2 lengths as they come down to the finish. Then farther back, Starship Angel as they come down to the wire. Malibu Prayer would not let Unrivaled Bell by. Malibu Prayer wins the Ruffian by 1.25 lengths on the line. Get Stormy now trying to hang in there for one more furlong. Public Speakers at a perfect trip is second. What's the Strip comes up the inside. Ziff Zaff down the outside. Get Stormy's got a 3-length lead and only 100 yards to go. Public Speaker, Ziff Zaff, What's the Strip? And Get Stormy and Javier Castellano go wire to wire to win the 4-star day.
Now with the Jim Dandy and the Diana, a couple of good features at the spa. That's the theme for this bullet drill. First of all, name a famous Diana.
Oh, the princess.
Yeah, that's the easiest one I'm going to ask you. All right, who sang Dirty Diana?
That was Michael Jackson, wasn't it? Okay. Okay.
It was Michael. And who wrote Yankee Doodle Dandy? Yeah, I didn't either. I had to look it up. Richard Schuckberg.
I should have known that.
Thanks so much, Richard, for a great song. My kids as well enjoy it.
The weather forecast for Saratoga was sunny this weekend, but some found it to be a little warm for the Jim Dandy.
We thought this was the most logical spot. You know, we're asking him to do something that he hasn't done before, obviously going 2 turns, but he gives me the indication that the distance limitations shouldn't be a problem. You know, I don't think his mental ability sometimes will limit horses' ability to go further because they want to get on the bridle and pull, and that way those horses don't seem to want to go that far. But this horse, I think, will relax. He'll sit behind horses, and that's kind of what we're looking for.
The way he trains and the way he ran, I think he'll be okay, so long as he rates kindly enough, which I think he will. He looks like he's in a good frame of mind. He's not in a, hurry up and go frame of mind from what I can see in the morning. So I think, and Javier's riding real good and getting his horses to settle nice. So, I think, I'm confident with how he's training and got the top jock, and, I really like his chances. I really do.
As the field comes to the top of the stretch, and it's a little warm in Miners Reserve. Head for head as they turn for home here. A little warm on the outside in Miners Reserve. Digging down at the rail, they come to the 8th pole together with Fly Down moving to 3rd in between horses. Then Friend or Foe 4th. Miners Reserve on the inside, and a little warm now in front. A little warm, the leader coming down to the wire. Miners Reserve fights on. Friend or Foe and the Fleet Express Fly Down 5th. It is a little warm in the Jim Dandy.
Forever Together went for her 3rd straight Diana. Standing in her way was Bill Mott's Proviso.
I don't see that she's really changed as far as her ability. She has relaxed a little bit more, and I think we have to keep on top of that a little bit. She, when she won it the first year, she had come off of some sprint races and was just naturally sharper and speedier early in her races and out of the gate. And now that she knows she's going 2 turns, she always goes 2 turns, and she kind of comes out of the gate and relaxes. And so last year, I think, was it took a little time for everybody to learn that she was going to be a little bit more lax like that. And now Julian's on her a little bit more, just on top of her a little bit more, wakes her up a little bit earlier. But I don't think she's any different.
Well, she's coming off of 2 real good races, going a flat mile, 1 in California and 1 at Belmont, and she's been in very good form. She's worked very well since her last race at Belmont, and it looks as though going a 9 furlong shouldn't be a problem for her. She's run those distances when she was in Europe, and she's been very effective before. So with the good trip, the right pace scenario, and a little racing luck, I would think she'd fit in very well, and we should be in for a good effort.
On the outside, Proviso. Forever Together is still 4th with less than a furlong to go. Down to the final 16th of a mile. Dynasty Proviso. Forever Together is coming again. On the outside, Share to Count. They're coming down to the finish, and it's a photo that will go to Proviso. Proviso wins it narrowly, defeating Forever Together and Share to Count on the wire.
This year, Bill Mott's birthday present was a trip to the winner's circle.
Well, I guess over the years, it just seems like we've been lucky to get a few of the right horses in on my birthday. A few times my birthday has fallen on a dark day, which relieves a little bit of the pressure. It's kind of gotten to the point where, a few of the fans expect me to win a race on my birthday, and it's not always quite that easy. But we have had a winner or 2 on my birthday, and there were a couple of years here where we had multiple winners. I guess one year we probably won 2 or 3 on my birthday, but I'm always looking forward to the winners, but not always looking forward to another birthday.
So what is the best bet for your birthday? I believe you have 5 in.
I'm a bad tout. I'll have to let the real handicappers take care of that. I mean, I've got a couple of them coming into the races in good order, and I'll let them choose.
Devil by Design, and worst case scenario, they're head-to-head for the lead. Then it's Unforgotten on the outside, and Southern Accents fighting out at the rail into the final 100 yards. And it's Devil by Design and Kent DeSormo who win it here by almost 3 lengths on the wire.
Up next on Rewind, lots of action at the Kentucky Horse Park.
8 different equestrian sports in one place at one time. So it really is a mammoth event.
I don't think there was a creature in this world happier to arrive anywhere than Cigar was when he arrived here in 1998.
Illustrious Blue down the outside has got to Electrolyzer and puts his nose in front, and the Artemis Goodwood Cup goes to a Goodwood specialist. Borderless Scott, he loves this place, he's back in front and he hangs on. Borderless Scott wins again at Goodwood. Lord Shadowkill main aim towards the inside, and Cat Jr. Lord Shadowkill is nosing past Dalgar, and it's Lord Shadowkill. Another juvenile success at Glorious Goodwood, and a 6th winner of the week for Richard Hughes. Librado won the Tanqueray Richmond. Britt Van Winkle, Canford Cliffs, again Richard Hughes, consummate. King Taurus does in decisive fashion and carols his penalty with aplomb to win the Verve Clicquot Vintage Stakes. Stasolita Midday rallying when joined, pulling out more, and Midday overcomes a loss of concentration to win back-to-back Nassau's.
HRTV is getting ready for the World Equestrian Games held this year at the Kentucky Horse Park.
Explain what equestrian disciplines these games will encompass.
World championships in 8 different equestrian sports in one place at one time. So it really is a mammoth event. The 8 different equestrian sports include the 3 Olympic disciplines of jumping, dressage, and then eventing, which of course comprises dressage, jumping, and cross country. Then we have 4-in-hand driving with 4 horses pulling carriages, and that's modeled after the 3-day eventing. We have endurance riding, 100 miles in one day. We have reining, the first Western discipline that became part of the International Equestrian Federation about 10 years ago. We have vaulting, which is, you could almost visualize gymnastics on horseback. And we have para-dressage for athletes with disabilities. They compete in dressage.
So when you got this incredible event coming to the United States, first time ever out of Europe, obviously the first time into Kentucky, and when I saw this opportunity where I was in Aachen and they had 40-plus acres and we have 12 or 1,300 acres, I said, what an opportunity for us to help the sport. That's the reason.
The Kentucky Horse Park is also the home of Cigar, subject of this month's Inside Information.
In 1998, befitting his accomplishments on the track, Cigar was invited to stand alongside the legendary John Henry at the Hall of Champions as the newest ambassador for the sport.
I don't think there was a creature in this world happier to arrive anywhere than Cigar was when he arrived here in 1998.
We turned him out in the paddock, and he put on a show. He ran around the paddock, he raced around the paddock, and then he'd stop and he'd rear straight up in the air. He'd run straight over to the people with cameras and stand there and put on a show for them.
And it would be here, far from the track, where Cigar would make his greatest impact, interacting with his adoring public and winning over new fans with his charm and personality.
A lot of times he'll take his nose and shove a flake of hay in front of the door so he can stand there and look at the people as they come up. He and Funny Side occasionally will have a little competition where they'll start at the end and race each other up to the barn, and then they'll split, go all the way around their paddocks, come back and do it again all the way up to the barn. He would be known to sulk when any other horse, especially John, was getting attention. When Cigar first came and John was having a lot of people come to his stall door, if John was getting all the attention, then Cigar would start banging on his door and pawing at the door and tell all, oh, look, Cigar, and they'd go over and see him, and then John would do the same thing to get them to come back. So they kind of taught each other bad habits, I think, a little bit.
Coming up on HRTV Rewind.
Look at it, Lucky's got a 4-length lead at the 16th pole. And look at it, Lucky and Martin Garcia romping the Haskell.
Glad I had Martin Garcia.
And race 7, Rachel Matson's day at the races. In the final furlong and a half, Therion battles to her short lead, battles Baby Carlos, Mr. Alonso down at the rail. On the outside, Webster's under pressure with Deacon Papa Pete, Pops Gold, Bubbling Springs on the far outside, Florent Giroux and Baby Carlos. This newcomer at 25-1. Baby Carlos accepting Florent Giroux, Rachel Matson's day at the races. Welcome to Arlington Park.
Rachel Matson was honored with a race in her name this week at Arlington Park.
A very, very special story, and we're now honored to have our guest here, Rachel Matson, who was able to meet Rachel Alexandra in 2009. But first, Rachel, tell us what you had to go through and what your disease was called.
Well, the disease was called aplastic anemia, and it was where the bone marrow stopped making blood cells. And I had to have transfusions of platelets and red blood cells. And it was, I didn't like it too much.
Are you better now?
Yes.
Then what was your wish in 2009 to be able to do?
To go to the Kentucky Derby.
And how was it?
Awesome.
And you got to meet Rachel Alexandra. That's a pretty big deal, huh? And you guys have the same name.
Yeah.
What do you have from Rachel Alexandra when she ran in the Kentucky Oaks? What's very special to you that you have at your house right now?
The pink halter that she wore in the paddock.
And that's pretty awesome to have, huh?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying your day at Arlington? Your birthday's coming up. We brought your whole family out here. Are you having fun?
Yes.
All right, so this is Rachel Matson herself. We're so excited to have her here. She had a great time in 2009 at Churchill Downs and a great time in 2010 here at Arlington.
We also got an update on Rachel Alexandra from co-owner Barbara Banke.
It was really, really hot, as you probably know. It was about 103 with the heat index down there. And she was not sweating, didn't turn a hair, looked perfect in the paddock, very cool and composed, and all of us were incredibly hot, so that was a good sign. And she just went out there, and she was very, very relaxed, which was nice to see. So she let the other ones do some of the work in the beginning, and then she cleaned up at the end. And we were glad that we had a lot of horse left at the end of that race because of the heat. But she looks great now and came back very strong, I think. Monday she's going to work here at Oklahoma, I believe, and probably every Monday after that. So she will be out on the track probably later this week, but she'll do a good work next week.
Last year we saw a filly win the Haskell. This year we were looking at Lucky.
And they're into the stretch. It's Super Saver. And look at it, Lucky. Trap shot to the outside. Look at it, Lucky's taking the lead. And look at him take off. Look at it, Lucky's got a 4-length lead at the 16th pole. And look at it, Lucky and Martin Garcia romping the Haskell.
I'm glad I had Martin Garcia.
What went through you when you saw this horse start to pull away down the stretch with that performance?
He finally got to show off. Bobby's always told us what kind of horse we had, and he proved it today, and I'm just so happy to be between these two guys and my great partners, Paul and Carl, and it's just a great day, and this baby's heavy.
One more thing.
Sure, go ahead, Bob.
I came here in 1997 with Don Disney with Annette, and today I want to thank him because he's the one that first got me here to the Haskell. He's the owner first too. Thank you, Don. Really comfortable with when he got him to the outside on the first turn when they saw the speed. When they took off, he just let him go. He got him in his nice rhythm. That's what a horse likes to be in his rhythm. Once he got him in the clear, down the backside, he had a lot of horse, and I told him, but the 3/8 pole, if he starts dragging you there, that means he's ready to put him away, and he'll just go ahead and put him away. That's the way you win this race. But 2.5, 3. So hopefully, if he's tugging you, you have nothing to worry about. And when I saw that move at the turn, I knew it was over.
Also, updates on some of today's superstars not in action.
Got to get an update on Jackson Bend. How's he doing? What is he up to these days, and where might we see him next?
He had a little bit of a muscle strain, so we've been training him very lightly, but hopefully next week we could put him back in the full training. He's doing really well, and I'm hopeful that he might be ready for a big race at the end of the month. He's a little fighter, a lot of heart. I just love that horse.
This year, it seems to be all about the sprinters between Vineyard Haven, Desert Party, Gallego. It could wind up with 3 horses in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. You have to learn how to figure out to have different horses in different categories.
Yeah, really, that's the way it comes out. And just really by default, Regal Ransom's probably more of a miler than anything, but just by default, we've got to try him in these 2-turn races just so they're not tripping all over one another. But yeah, he's kind of got the short end of the stick in the comeback races. Desert Party got a good spot. Vineyard Haven got a good spot. Gallego got a reasonable spot out in California. And, Regal had to run in a 1-turn 9-furlong race off a layoff. Not exactly the easiest comeback spot to Suburban. And but, you could probably throw him in the mix, too, because he's probably more of a miler than anything. But just by default, he's got to run around 2 turns because under the right circumstances, he can get the 9. And you'll probably see some entries, as you will probably in the Vanderbilt next week with Desert Party and Gallego.
Devil May Care came out of the race great. Energy level's been very good. We're hoping if everything goes smoothly to come back in the Alabama. And, she's the kind of filly that's shown us those types of things in some of her races and in the morning. So we were obviously pleased with how well she won, but I can't say I was surprised at how easily she did it.
And how do you feel about meeting Blind Luck possibly for the first time in the Alabama?
Well, that's what you hope to do. If you're going to be a champion, then you need to run against the best fillies in that category. So we look forward to it.
Racing returned to Maryland this week when Laurel Park opened for a mini-meet.
And you've got different themes on different days. And beginning on Saturday, you start with a sizzling Saturday. And opening day includes a crab feast and also some giveaways. What's going on Saturday?
Well, Tom Chukas, our president, has kind of told us that we're try to get a younger demographic in here. So we're trying some different things and have been doing this at the mini-meet for the last couple of years with trying to have promotion each day. So, Saturday we're going to have, we're having a novice tournament, handicapping tournament in a couple weeks, and barbecues on the apron, and live music as much as possible on Friday, which will be twilight racing, and on Saturday and Sunday as well.
And I saw twilight racing complete with foosball, air hockey, and darts.
Yeah, there's going to be that horse wizard room that we have here. I don't know if you guys have one at Santa Anita, but it was built maybe 5-6 years ago, and it didn't really take off. So the room is utilized now for more like events like this, Saturday promotions, and for this particular meet, kind of Friday night to kind of the beginning of happy hour, I guess.
That's all for this week on Rewind. Here's what you can look forward to next week on HRTV.